today I'm going to talk about a book that I've been reading, and whether you're into reading or not, I recommend that you read the book. It's not a very big book, it's not a very long book, it's not a very hard book to understand. It is Live Fearless, A Call to Power, Passion and Purpose by Sadie Robertson. I know a lot of you have probably seen this like on Amazon, or you've seen a lot of people post about it, because it just recently came out like a week ago. And I immediately started reading it the moment I got it. And in the introduction, she tells you like basically what the book is already going to be about. I mean, that's obviously what an introduction is. But she tells you that she encourages you to like underline and highlight things in the book and take notes. And she encourages you to stop reading when you have to answer a question, or you need to look up a Bible verse, or whatever the case may be, or just sit there and meditate with yourself and figure out what the reason is that you are stopping. She writes down her prayers for you, so if there's something that you need to pray about or that you need to speak to God about but you don't know what the words are, she's like, feel more than welcome to use the prayers that I've used myself, meaning Sadie. And she's like, you're more than welcome to use that prayer if you don't have words of your own to say. And I just absolutely love this book. I'm not finished with it yet, but one of the things that I love the most about it is it's the reason I finally got over that hurdle of fear for posting YouTube videos. Like, I was always terrified for people judging me and thinking, oh my god, like, what is she doing? And I mean, everybody's like always worried about being judged and if people are laughing at them, and whether or not people are sitting there like just telling you you can't do it, or telling you you look stupid, or you're not good enough, or you're not big enough, or you just don't have a big enough following, or that's only for people born into fame. Like, that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm just doing it for people who have questions themselves, and this is how they find answers, is by Googling whatever the issue is, and a YouTube video pops up and they watch it, and there you go. Your question has been answered. So she first goes on to talk about getting a call from Dancing with the Stars. I don't know who in here watches Dancing with the Stars, or in here, but you know what I'm saying. But who watches Dancing with the Stars? She got a call, and in here she originally talked about how she tells them no. She didn't want to do it. She was too scared. She has absolutely no dancing background. She didn't do any dancing whatsoever when it came to school dances or anything, so she was terrified. I mean, who wouldn't be? It's Dancing with the Stars. It's not like going to prom. And she says that she just sits in her bedroom with her mom bawling her eyes out because she wants to do it, but she's too scared because she doesn't know how to dance. It's gonna be a nationally viewed television show, and she doesn't want to be judged literally by the judges and by society. And she eventually, her mom tells her, you need to do it. I think you need to do it. She gets the courage, calls them back, says I'll do it, and ultimately she ends up coming in second place out of the whole competition, which is really awesome for somebody who didn't know how to dance in the first place and who was terrified to even do it in the first place. And she comes in second place. Like, that's freaking awesome. And it just kind of makes you sit and wonder, like, what have you, and she asks you in the book, actually, makes you ask yourself, what have you been saying no to that you really wish you could be saying yes to, but have been saying no because you're scared of what the outcome may be? And for me, it's making these videos, it's talking to you guys, and putting myself out there, and it's, been a long time coming for me making these videos. So I finally just said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna finally make a video, and here I am. And then she goes on to talk about how she got invited to a tour that was coming in town, or that she had to fly to, something like that. But it was basically a religious tour of some sort, and she got asked to be one of the guest speakers that would speak every night. And she said that she mostly just did like Q&As, and it's a 10-day event, and it said that on like the 6th or 7th day she just sat and realized that she's not scared anymore. She wasn't going to answer to fear anymore. She was going to just silence it, call it good. And she got up on stage, and one of the co-hosts there like offered to go out on stage with her to make sure she was doing fine, and she said, you know what, I'm fine, I'm good. And they had even told her that earlier that day there had been a terrorist attack at an event similar to where she was at, on the stage, and she said, you know what, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not scared, I'm ready to go, let's do it, let's get it rolling. And she goes, she does it, she does fantastic. People come up to her, tell her that they could see an absolute day and night change in her, and she eventually gets asked to go on tour with them for the whole tour, like go all over the country to all the tours where all the events are being held, and she got to do that, which is awesome. And to remind you, she's I think 20 years old, and she's getting asked to do things like this, and it's just overwhelming. And she gives you all these Bible verses to look up, to go by. They're all talking about fear and to not fear, and me being who I am, I was not really necessarily raised in a church, so being who I am, I guess you could say, is I don't know anything about the Bible. I've never read the Bible. I don't know what God's word necessarily is, if that makes sense, because I wasn't raised that way. It's not that my parents weren't religious, it's just my parents were raised in a church, and so they already knew their religious views, and they already read the Bible, they already knew everything, and they didn't feel that they needed to go to church anymore. So when I was like 5 years old, I got pulled out of church, and from then on, here I am, just started going to church about a year ago, still struggling to know what everything means. And so what's so helpful is she puts down all these Bible verses for you to look up and go by, because for me, I could turn into the Bible and not know where I'm at, what I'm reading, what verse I'm at, what stanza I'm in, whatever you call it. I wouldn't know. And here she's like, she puts out there what verses to look up. She's got like, let's find one. Like here, she has look up Isaiah's 35 verse 4, John's 14 verse 27, Matthew's 6 verse 34, and Philippians 4 verses 6 and 7, and they're all related to fear. And then she also puts in the back like little spaces for you to like take notes and stuff over here to the side, and it's a phenomenal book, and I encourage anybody and everybody to read it, because we could all use this. Like I said, I'm not a religious person. I'm not. Not because I don't want to be or don't believe it. It's just because I don't understand it. And religion is something you have to understand to believe. And it's not necessarily something you can just wake up one day and be like, oh my God, I understand everything. You just can't. And this, I feel like it's a good like baby steps, a good beginning for me, because this today is Thursday, and this coming Sunday is going to be the first time in months that me and my fiance are going to go to church. I recently moved out here to Los Angeles in August of last year, I guess, actually. And since we've been out here, we've never been to church because we've never really found a church out here, and we finally found a church, and we're going this Sunday, and I'm really excited. I'm also really nervous because I've only been to really one other church regularly, and that was back home in Oklahoma, and this is also going to be the first church I've been to since my father's passed away, and so it's very nerve-wracking because I don't know anybody there, whereas everybody back at my old church knows my story, knows who I am, knows who my father was, knows what me and my family's been through in the past 7 months since his passing. And so I'm going to a new place where nobody knows me, so they don't know the touchy subjects, they don't know how to approach me, so it's very scary to think what may come. But this book has really helped me to face that fear of, oh, I don't want to go because people don't know who I am. and they don't know what I've been through, so they might look at me differently, or if I choose to be quiet and not sing, because I tend to not sing with people in church, and my fiance thinks that's really strange, because I'll sing worship songs in my car all day long, but I get in church and I'm dead silent. Me and my dad were both that way. We just sat in the church and waited for the songs to be over to sit down and listen to the preacher, and I just am afraid people are obviously going to judge me, but I'm also afraid of not going to church. So this book is helping me get over that fear and get back into church and build my faith with my fiance, who is religious as well, and he's ready to get back into church as well. And I'm very excited, and I'm very happy that we're finally doing this, and I'm just beyond ecstatic. And I owe a lot of it to Sadie Robertson. She is adorable and fantastic, and she's just a very down-to-earth girl, which I would assume. I don't know her personally, obviously, so I would just assume that that's who she is. It's who she appears to be on her Instagram. I mean, that's as close as we'll probably ever get to her. But I'm just, if you're going through something that you just feel like you can't get through, or you just feel like it's never ending and you're never gonna get to the end of it, or you're just scared like the whole world is, this is a book that you need to read. Like I said, it's not very long. It's like, how long is this book? Let's look. Like 190 pages long. 190. That's all it is. We've all read textbooks longer than that, and we all hated them. So do it. Read a chapter a day if you hate reading that much. That's as simple as that. And I promise you'll feel a change in yourself. And that's the best feeling in the world, is when you can feel a positive change in yourself. So I truly encourage every one of you to get the book and start reading it, and comment below if you do get it, and let me know how it is, and how it's feeling, or how you're feeling, and how it's treating you, because I'd love to hear about it. So again, that's Sadie Robertson, Live Fearless, A Call to Power, Passion, and Purpose.